There are probably 400 things in your home right now that you have not touched in a year. Not 400 things you dislike, 400 things you have simply not needed. The bread machine on the high shelf, the second set of bedding, the spare cables in the drawer, the decorative bowl that holds nothing, the exercise equipment behind the door. You did not buy them by mistake. Each one made sense on the day it arrived. But they stayed, and they gathered, and now they fill your cupboards. And every one of them is something you clean around, move past, and store. The average new home built in America is somewhere around 2,300 square feet. In Japan, a new home is closer to 1,000, less than half the space. And yet a Japanese home does not feel cramped. It feels calm. That is not because Japanese people are tidier by nature. It is because of what is not in the house. Japanese homes did not solve the problem of too much. For most of our history, we simply never had it. The house was small, the winters were hard, and everything in the room had to earn its place. What grew from that was not a style. It was a way of living where the empty part of the room is the useful part. I have kept a simple home for many years. My mother did the same. Very little in it, and nothing that did not work. So today I want to walk you through a Japanese home, room by room, and tell you 15 things you will not find in it. Some will surprise you. A few you own right now, and will look at differently by the end. You do not need to remove all 15, but I think you will find 2 or 3 you can let go of this week. Let us start at the door. The first thing you will not find: shoes past the entrance. Every Japanese home has a genkan. It is a small, sunken area just inside the door, lower than the rest of the floor. You step in, take your shoes off, and step up into the home. The line between outside and inside is a real physical step. Nobody walks through a Japanese house in outdoor shoes. Not the family, not guests, not the plumber. The floors stay clean because the street never comes inside. Think about what this saves. Most of what you vacuum out of a carpet did not come from your home. It arrived on the bottom of a shoe. Remove the shoes, and you remove most of the dirt before it ever enters. So this is the easiest change you will hear today. Put a small mat or a low bench by your door tonight. Shoes come off there. Everyone, every time. Now, look at the floor itself. The second thing you will not find: wall-to-wall carpet. Japanese homes use tatami mats, or wood, or a smooth modern flooring, something you wipe rather than something you deep clean. Carpet holds everything you walk in: dust, hair, the fine grit from the road. You cannot wipe it. You can only pull things out of it, and never quite all of them. A hard floor shows you the dirt honestly, and one pass with a cloth removes it completely. There is another thing about tatami worth knowing. It has a smell, a faint grassy scent when it is new, and a Japanese person walking into a room with fresh tatami will notice it immediately and feel at home. A floor that has a scent is a floor you keep clean. You probably cannot replace your flooring tonight, but you can stop adding to it. That extra rug in the hall, the one that gathers dirt and gets kicked out of place, may be doing less for you than you think. The third thing you will not find: a sofa that owns the room. In many Western living rooms, an enormous sofa sits in the middle, and everything else arranges itself around it. It cannot be moved. The room has one shape, forever. Traditional Japanese rooms do not work this way. Furniture is low, light, and often moved. A low table, floor cushions, something you can push aside. The room can be a dining room in the evening and an open space in the morning. The idea underneath this is that the room is not for the furniture. The room is for the person. When nothing is fixed in place, the space can serve whatever you actually need that day. You do not have to give up your sofa, but look at your main room and ask a plain question. Is there one large object here that decides everything else? And is it earning that power? The fourth thing you will not find: a bed left out all day. In a traditional Japanese home, you sleep on a futon laid directly on the tatami. In the morning, you fold it and put it away in a deep closet called an oshier. The bedroom disappears. The room becomes a room again. This is not just a space trick, though a small home certainly benefits. Airing and folding the bedding each day keeps it dry, which matters a great deal in a humid climate. The bedding is cared for, and the room is returned to use. Many modern Japanese homes have Western beds now, so I will not pretend everyone still does this. But the principle holds everywhere. A room that serves only one purpose for 8 hours a day is a room mostly wasted. The fifth thing you will not find: a guest room sitting empty. Because rooms can change their purpose, most Japanese homes never had a room reserved for visitors who come twice a year. A guest arrives, a futon comes out of the closet, and the room where you ate dinner becomes where they sleep. In the morning, it is a dining room again. Compare that with a spare bedroom that stays furnished, heated, cleaned, and unused for 50 weeks of the year. It is a great deal of house given over to almost nobody. The rooms in a Japanese home are separated by sliding doors, fusuma, and shoji that can be opened, closed, or lifted out entirely. 2 small rooms become 1 large one in seconds. If you have a room that only exists for guests, you might quietly reclaim it. Let it be your workroom or your quiet room, and keep a folding bed in the cupboard for the rare weekend it is needed. Now let me take you into the kitchen, because that is where the differences are largest. The sixth thing you will not find: a refrigerator stocked for 2 weeks. Japanese refrigerators are smaller, and they are not filled. Shopping happens every day or two, in small amounts, often on foot on the way home. This sounds inconvenient to Western ears. In practice, it does something valuable. Food bought for 2 days gets eaten. Food bought for 2 weeks gets forgotten at the back, goes bad, and is thrown out. Buying less, more often, means throwing away almost nothing. This connects to a word you will hear often in Japan: mottainai. It is a feeling of regret at waste, at something useful being thrown away. Food waste, in particular, is felt as a small wrong, not a small annoyance. So try 1 week of shopping for 2 or 3 days at a time. Your fridge will look emptier, and your bin will be lighter. The seventh thing you will not find: a large oven. Most Japanese kitchens have no full-sized oven at all. There is a stovetop, and beneath it, a narrow grill drawer meant mostly for fish. Cooking happens in a pan, in a pot, in a rice cooker, or under that small grill. Japanese home cooking simply does not need a large oven. Rice, soup, simmered vegetables, grilled fish, none of it is baked. So the appliance never became standard, and the kitchen stayed small. I am not telling you to remove your oven. I am pointing at the pattern. The tools in a kitchen shape the food, and the food shapes the tools. Look at your own kitchen and count the appliances you use less than once a month. That is the real list. The eighth thing you will not find: paper towels, bought by the case. Japanese kitchens use cloth. A fukin, a simple cotton cloth, is used, rinsed, and hung to dry. There will be several in a drawer, and they last for years. The reasoning is mottainai again. Buying a thing in order to throw it away over and over is exactly the kind of waste the word points at. There is a practical side too. A cloth is always to hand and never runs out. You never discover on a Tuesday night that you are out of paper and have to buy more. So this week, put 3 cotton cloths near your sink. Use them for spills and counters. Rinse and hang them. Keep the paper for the rare mess you genuinely do not want to keep. The ninth thing you will not find: 10 of the same tool. Open a Western kitchen drawer, and you will often find 4 spatulas, 3 peelers, a drawer of mismatched implements collected over 15 years. A Japanese kitchen tends to hold one good version of each thing, one knife that is properly sharpened, one pan used constantly. There is a deep respect in Japan for the well-made tool cared for over years, and no interest at all in owning 6 mediocre ones. The hidden cost of duplicates is not money. It is that every duplicate is a small decision. Which peeler, which pan, multiply that across a kitchen and you have a drawer that quietly tires you every time you open it. So take one drawer this week. Where you have several of one thing, keep the best and let the rest go. Now, the bathroom, which is arranged quite differently from what you may expect. The 10th thing you will not find, the toilet in the same room as the bath. In most Japanese homes, the toilet is in its own small room, entirely separate from the bathing room. They are not combined the way they usually are in the West. The reason is straightforward. Bathing in Japan is a long, clean, restful thing. You wash first, outside the tub, and then soak in hot water. That room is meant to be pure. The toilet belongs somewhere else. It also solves a plain domestic problem. One person can bathe while another uses the toilet with no waiting and no awkwardness. You are unlikely to rebuild your bathroom over this, but it tells you something about how seriously the evening bath is taken. It is not a place you rush. It is where the day ends. The 11th thing you will not find. A cupboard of half-used bottles. Japanese bathrooms tend to be spare. A few things used up, replaced when finished. Western bathroom cupboards often hold a graveyard. Products bought once, tried, abandoned, kept, because throwing away something expensive feels wasteful. So they sit for years, taking space, and are eventually thrown away anyway. This is worth noticing because it is mottainai misunderstood. Keeping a thing you will never use is not thrift. The waste already happened. Holding on to it only adds clutter to the loss. So open that cupboard this week. Anything unused for a year and not going to be used can go. What remains will fit on one shelf and you will find things instantly. The 12th thing you will not find. A clothes dryer. Walk through a Japanese neighborhood in the morning and you will see laundry hanging on balconies and window poles in almost every home. Machine drying is uncommon. Clothes are hung, indoors or out, and they dry. The reasons are practical. Dryers are large, they use a great deal of electricity, and they wear clothes out faster. Air drying costs nothing and is gentler on fabric. There is also something quietly good about the rhythm of it. Hanging laundry is 5 slow minutes with your hands, outdoors or by a window. It is not a chore anyone in Japan complains much about. If you have a dryer, you need not remove it. But try hanging 1 load a week on a simple rack. Your clothes will last longer and your bill will be smaller. The 13th thing you will not find. Heating for the whole house. Central heating that warms every room is rare in Japan, even in cold regions. Instead, heat goes where the people are. The classic example is the kotatsu. It is a low table with a heater underneath and a heavy blanket draped over the edges. The family sits with their legs under the blanket, warm from the waist down, in a room that is otherwise cool. In winter, it is where everyone gathers. The principle is simple. Heat the person, not the empty rooms. Warming a whole house so that one person can sit in one chair is a great deal of energy spent on nobody. So this winter, before you raise the heating for the whole home, try heating yourself. A warm layer, a blanket, a small heater in the room you are actually in. The 14th thing you will not find. Every surface holding something. This is the one I would most like you to take away. In a traditional Japanese room, there is often a tokonoma, a small alcove where one thing is displayed, one scroll, one arrangement of flowers, not a collection, one. Everything else is put away. Surfaces are bare. The eye has somewhere to rest, and the room feels calm rather than busy. The Japanese word for this quality of space is ma. It is the value of the empty part. In music, ma is the silence between notes, and it is considered part of the music. In a room, the empty surface is not waste. It is what lets the room breathe. Now think of a Western living room, where every shelf, sill, and tabletop carries something. Nothing is wrong with any single object, but together they leave the eye nowhere to settle, and a room like that never quite feels restful. So tonight, clear one surface completely and leave it empty. Then, if you like, put one thing on it. One. Sit down and look at the room. That feeling is the whole idea. The 15th thing you will not find. Something broken waiting to be replaced. In Japan, there is a long habit of repair. A cracked bowl mended, a garment patched, a tool sharpened rather than discarded. The most beautiful expression of this is kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with lacquer and gold, so the mend is visible and the piece is considered finer for having been broken. Underneath it is that word again, mottainai. A thing that still has use in it deserves to be used. The Western default is different. A thing breaks, and the first thought is what to buy next. So homes hold a quiet stock of broken items waiting for a decision, and the shed fills, and the drawer fills. So look for one broken thing in your home this week. Repair it or let it go. Do not let it sit in between. That in-between state is where clutter comes from. That is 15. Let me leave you with the thing that ties them together. Almost nothing on this list was a choice about style. Small homes, hard winters, and a long habit of not wasting produced a way of living where each object had to earn its place, and the empty space was worth keeping. What came out of that is a home that is easy to clean, cheap to run, and quiet to sit in. You do not need a Japanese house to have any of it. Take the shoes off at the door, empty one surface, repair one broken thing, buy food for 2 days instead of 2 weeks. A home with less in it is simply easier to live in. That is the whole of it. If this was useful, you know where to find us.